Hi, everyone. Um, Today is our weekly video for um, next week, obviously, for October 10th, 11th through 14th. Again, that's a short week. We are just in school Tuesday through Friday. Um, and just a couple of quick things. I'm so excited. We're starting our novel unit. These will be the units that each class is in until our winter break. And a couple of just quick housekeeping things. The grading window closes for this first quarter on the 14th, which is next Friday. So that is not a progress report. It's going to be a report card. It is something where I cannot change grades or accept late work after that. So really work with your students, see what they're missing, if they're missing anything. Remember that they can make things up for 10 school days late without penalty, but then after that, really can't accept it because we've just moved on so much academically that they're not going to get much out of it, academically speaking. In addition, because I do accept late work, but it has to be up to that standard, then I need time to grade that late work. So all late work is due by next Wednesday, October 12th. I have notified your students. I've put it on the board. It's in the agenda slides. And now I'm letting you know, parents. And that's just the only way that I can really, if they're going to do the work, it's only right that I spend the time to grade it. And so I set that deadline for myself so that I have that time to do that. And I have a lot of students have been coming to me and saying that they can tell that they have missing work, but they're not sure what it is. I've been showing them how to check that. But if you are ever in their parent view or student view and you see the screen that has all their classes listed, has a grade, and then says a number of missing assignments, if you just click the hyperlinked Q1 or Q2, whatever quarter we're in, it'll then give you a drop-down menu of all their individual grades and what's missing and what the grades they've received and the things they have turned in. So that's one way you can tell, just if you're curious. Okay. Chromebooks, we're doing a really good job for the most part of getting Chromebooks here in the room and charged. Keep that up. We will probably use them a little bit less as we start the novel unit, but they should bring them every day and have them ready just in case. Let's see. Okay, so let's kind of get into the slides then. I think that's all the businessy stuff. You'll notice there'll be a little change in the slides as my 6th, 7th, and 8th graders are all just going to be reading such completely different novels, obviously. And so I'm kind of separating some of the slides and sometimes they'll be together. So basically now just look and see. I will say either 6th grade, all grades, 7th grade, 7th and 8th grade, whatever. So just look at the slides to see which one you need to be referencing for your student. So for the 6th graders, when we come back, we will spend 3 days diving into our book. It's called The First Rule of Punk. It's an awesome book, a lovely book. The kids love it every year. And let's see. So they're going to start with a reader's journal, which will be something that will be in Google Classroom. And so that's why it is typed in regular font and not underlined. So they will need their Chromebooks for that. We will also watch a video on the background of punk and punk music. Then they'll do a reader's journal before they start chapter 1. Then we'll talk about what is a zine. You can watch that video if you want to. It'll be posted in Google Classroom, I think. Or you can, but it's just like a little folded pamphlet that sort of like comes, like the word comes from magazine, so zine. And they can be created for lots of different things, but the character in the book creates zines. So we'll just watch a little video on the history of zines. We'll read and discuss chapter 1, read and discuss chapter 2. That's a little vague because discussions are meant to be vague. They go different places in every single class, and that's what's wonderful about them. Students' individual life experiences impact the outcome of those discussions. It's what makes novels awesome. One of the many things, not few things, many. Okay. They will also do a MALU word map. Well, they'll start it. They'll actually add to it as we go through the year. That will be on paper. It's underlined. Let's see. Read and discuss chapters 3 through 5. And again, that's open on what will happen during the discussions. I have something where I've pulled quotes that we want to discuss from the novel. It's called Quotes to Live By. Students will not get a copy of that. It'll just be something that they look at visually. Okay, and then they'll create a visualization of worry. The character in the book at the beginning is very worried about a big move she's about to have to do. And we all of us have worry. So students will do that visualization on the back of their MALU word map, so also on paper. And that will all be due, basically, that will be Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Let's see. They need to do 45 minutes of Membean, although I am going to start taking that grade monthly so that we're not clogging up our the grade book with just so many grades. But they still should aim to do 45 minutes a week. Because otherwise they're going to get totally bogged down. At this point, everyone who's requested a scholarship has been given one. And I'll remind students of that, but just if your family has requested a scholarship, your student has it and is able to train, and so they should train on Membean. They need to finish their MALU word map and their visualization of worry before class starts on Friday. Most of them will, I'm guessing, finish it in class, but these will probably be some of the, anyways, they need to do that by Friday. Okay. And then just a reminder, all late work is due by Friday or Wednesday, the 12th. Okay, for 7th and 8th, they are reading other novels. They're going to start with same thing. They have 45 minutes of Membean, now taken as a grade monthly. Students will start with an anticipation guide, which will be on paper, and then we'll be discussing. Then on Wednesday, 8th graders will do some research on foster care by watching a video and looking at a website. The main one of the main characters in the novel we're reading is in foster care, and so it applies. It's a good piece of research to do. The 7th graders will do a scavenger hunt for the 1960s because the novel they're reading, which is The Outsiders, obviously takes place in the 1960s. And the 8th graders are reading a book called Orbiting Jupiter. I don't think I mentioned that. Okay, so let's see. Let me go ahead and add this to all their slides too. Sorry, it's kind of new for me to be doing this like this. Okay, so on Wednesday, that was just Wednesday. Okay, and then on Thursday we'll start the novel in both classes. The 8th graders will do a journal response. I think I'm going to underline half of this because it might be in their interactive notebooks and it also might be online. So it's open. And then the 7th graders will do a police report based on chapter 1. That should be kind of fun. And then on Friday, where did you go Friday? Okay. And then on Friday, both classes will go to the library. They'll watch a short video on the book fair, which will be coming up in a few weeks, and they'll have time to check out books. And then they'll have time for Membean and no red ink. Remember that during that time, we also usually can pull students and do small groups if they're struggling with an assignment or something. So it's also our small group time. So Fridays are super important. Okay, I think that's it. And it's kind of a long one. Yeah, I really, I apologize for not having a video out last week. I got back from Pennsylvania where I had been for a funeral, and it just, it was more important to jump into the student work and I just couldn't get the video done. And I also just want to say I really appreciate you guys as parents and guardians because your kids were like awesome. I was out for 3 days, which is a long time. It's the longest I've ever been out in a million years of teaching. And your kids were awesome. It's still pretty early in the year. So while we've done norming and stuff, we haven't done a ton. And they were great. So I appreciate them, but I also appreciate you guys. Thanks so much and have a great long weekend, hopefully. All right. Bye-bye.